in her village continue to be a huge problem that just won't go away. There's a quote here in Dedido, we clean up cars and tires, and when it rains hard, they grow again from the same ground that we picked it up from, she said. And all kidding aside, the mayor says, here's an example of just how bad it gets. In one street, Swamp Road, from Song all the way to Route 3, they picked up 400 cars. And this was 3 years ago. 400 abandoned vehicles. If you go to that same street today, there are 800 cars that need to be picked up from this area. Yeah, so they're kind of like gremlins. You know what I mean? You get them wet and they multiply. It's insane. Mayor Jesse Alig chuckles to our Link fam. That's what they call you in the comments. Good morning, Mayor. Happy Monday.
Good morning.
What's up with this abandoned vehicle? Like I said, I know Mayor Melissa kind of, I mean, yeah, it's a big issue, especially in Dedido. Is that accurate, though, Mayor? They pick up 400 and then there's 800 more?
Well, you know what? It is accurate because the amount that she needs is way beyond her purchase order amount.
Right. Yeah, and so that's kind of what she said in the story was that they're getting, 50,000 and that so when she said that the amount of money to remove the vehicles equals about 200 abandoned vehicle removals, is that for the whole island or is that just for Dedido?
No, that's just for Dedido.
Oh, wow. Crazy.
Yeah. And so we've been talking about it because that's her problem, really, the larger villages where because of the procurement regulations, they can't exceed $50,000. The purchase order worth $50,000, right? So we've been asking. I know the speaker introduced a bill to remove the cap, and then at our public hearing for our budget, we did ask Mayor Savars to talk about that as well, to make that request to the legislature to remove the cap because it went from 25,000 to 50,000. And of course, well, initially we wanted 25,000. We wanted 100,000, right. But we were advised to not ask for 100,000 because it was, senators may not agree to that because of the high amount. But when you look at the realistic dollar value, and you compare that to what we actually need to pick up and what we need to clear, 100,000 is nothing for those larger villages. And so I'm glad that the speaker recognized that. I know that Senator Sonogsin also recognizes that the need to lift the cap or to remove the cap. So I'm hoping that through Mayor Savars' request at our budget hearing that, at least for fiscal 23, because we do have, we still have more than $500,000 left in the recycling revolving fund, we could use that money to clear up the larger villages. And I know that we touched on it a little at the public hearing as well regarding the Chamorro Land Trust property, because Mayor Savars and other mayors also claim that, and I've seen it myself. So I say claim because they do, that a lot of the issues are at Chamorro Land Trust property because.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to claim it, Mayor. It's a fact, right? I mean, I don't know if we're just trying to not hurt the feelings of Chamorro Land Trust lessees, but it's a fact. If you go in the properties, especially that the last one I was at was kind of across like Retidian going towards Anderson. Man, I forget the name of the area. But wow, it was, I mean, you go in, it's all Cascala, right? And then you hang a left and there's a huge abandoned vehicle graveyard.
Like, is it called Ramirez?
Oh, yeah. Yes, thank you, Mayor.
So that's our biggest problem is, that the lifting of that cap, right? And so I don't see a problem with it because we have to submit a report anyway. And in order for the mayor to request for more money in their purchase order, they have to clear out the old purchase order with invoices and proper reporting. So we have done a better job at making sure that the money is accounted for and that we're reporting to EPA timely. So I don't believe EPA has an issue with our current reporting. And now we've taken that step towards improvement, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to spend the money easier So that is an issue when we have to spend the $1 million, right? Because $50,000 compared to $1 million is a big difference. So,
Yeah.
and so what it is we don't authorize the sharing of or the commingling of funds, and that's because every village has to complete a a report for every item that is disposed. And so that item has to be picked up within that municipality, within that village, if the money is given to that village. So if the village no longer needs the money, they need to return the money to the mayor's council admin office. And once it's returned to the admin office can close out their account and redistribute the money to a village that needs it. But the problem with that is, there's a lot of, there's a process and it just takes a while. So we're trying to eliminate that process and just get it to the mayor that needs it right away.
Well, so the issue is not necessarily the money; it's just the execution of getting the money where it needs to go.
Yeah, it's always the process. It's always the process after we know about the money. Yeah.
We did have a comment here, Mayor. A very true Swamp Road, Bula, abandoned vehicles. Sorry, Mayor Alig, but Mayor Savares has done her cleanup back when people are complaining since 10 years ago. She wouldn't be in the situation now. Same goes with obviously the residents. They're frustrated. Same goes with the road, Bula potholes. So, Mayor, the abandoned vehicles, it sounds like we're in over our heads. What about the potholes, road repair, village street repairs?
On the village street repairs, that's all coordinated by DPW, okay. And I know they're working towards Talafofo now. They did address some of the issues up in Dedido. I know that Dedido has a larger issue. I'm sure they'll be returning back to Dedido soon enough. And that's just like everything else, I mean, we try to give out the money as best we can, as quickly as we can, at least on the mayor's council side, because we do know the need for, we do know that the mayors need it out there quicker. But when it comes to road repair, the minor road repair, we get done through our own office and with some assistance from DPW, but the major road repair is strictly through DPW. And it's their plan, it's their timeline. I can't say too much more to that other than it's really going to be up to them. And the latest that I know is that they're in Talafofo, or they're going to be working in Talafofo now after Haget. They finished Haget, a couple of weeks ago.
How are we on preparations for Liberation Day festivities?
I think that's going well. We're finalizing. I know that the applications for parade entry are live through the website found through GVB. But I do know that we're ironing out some of those kinks. But I think it's going to be nice. It's going to work out for everyone. We'll release more information as as the day approaches, as the month approaches. We will have a whole slew of memorials starting July 3rd. So we're certainly inviting our residents out to those ceremonies, because those are, those commemorations are real important. And I think if you've never been to one, you need to come. You just need to come to one at least. And this year we start July 3rd at Manyangan, and it'll just kind of go down the line. And the last one will be August 7 and 8 in Jigo at the Taguian Massacre. So that's the memorials will take the longest. But all in all, I think we're ready to go. Excited to see what everyone comes up with for the parade. I think we've received so many inquiries as to what the logo is, what the theme was. When we finally made the announcement, we got like a sigh of relief. Now we're hoping to see the parade entry.
Yeah, everyone was like, Santa Maria Comelin, okay, we can work with that. That's a familiar territory.
Yeah. And that's great. I'm glad that that most are understanding why that is so. I mean, it's just so important for so many, and I believe it's going to be a good experience. I think it's different for sure.
There's no charge, right, to enter a parade, a float in the Liberation Day parade?
No charge. No charge.
Where's the application live at, did you say?
The GVB website.
Okay, so go to GVB website, guys, print out an application. Or is it an application or just like a form?
It's an application, but there is also a form, so you can download and print an application, or you can fill out the form
Right on.
online. Yeah.
What about the mayor? Have you heard anything? I know it's kind of a DPR thing, but people were asking when I had you on last week about what the date is going to be for them to be able to line up to get the permits for the camping out, which is also going to be free this year.
Right. So we have a meeting next week, I believe it is, and so by that date we should know what DPR's dates are going to be for the sign up. That part I know everyone's clamoring for. So that'll be fun too, right? To see who's camping out there for the camp out.
Right. The mayor, how did everything go with the senior center's reopening?
Everything went well for the most part. We didn't have any major issues. I think, of course, we anticipated the whole acclimation, right? So they've been away for 2 years. They came back to a room that was not was semi-familiar. They saw their bingo, but they noticed that there's plexiglass, and you have to do all these other things that they're not typically used to.
Right.
And our manamko, our manina, they're the boss, right? So they got to tell you what to do. But in this case, we kind of have to keep them safe. So I think after a little talking to some of them, everything went well. Like I said, there were no reports of any major issues. I do know, though, that we did not get everyone who said they were going to return. We had over 600 say that they were going to come back, but we just had a little below 400 that actually attended last week. So I'm hoping to get or early part of last week, and so I'm hoping to get another report the next day or two to see what the entire week looked like, and hopefully we get more momentum coming out. And hopefully we get more to sign up, more new ones to sign up.
Right.
I see a lot of people who have become senior citizen say, hey, you should sign up and give us a give us a hand over there. Do some kind of volunteer work. You still have all this energy.
Yeah,
Chris, you want to become senior citizen.
Hey, I'm not there yet, Mayor.
Yeah, no, I said once you become senior
Right.
citizen.
You want the fresh, the just turned 65ers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So they can teach them a few tricks.
Help you carry stuff. Mayor, are you guys involved at all with the I think it's a GITA, this child care provider certification boot camp that they're doing with GCC?
No, we are not.
Okay.
We are not.
Okay. What about I wanted to ask about the stray animals, Mayor. I haven't asked about that in a while. What's the status with the roundup, the kennel space, and all that?
Well, we still have our same issues with kennel space, shelter space. As a matter of fact, last week I got a phone call because the mayor had, a litter of puppies that could not get turned in, and yeah, we're still having some issues with that. Hopefully, with the money that they've received, the kennels will increase, and we won't have any issues turning in dogs. Again, and I always say it that's our short-term solution, is to turn in the dogs. The long-term solution that we agreed to is spaying and neutering, and I do know that when I say they, it's agriculture and gain. I know that they've executed some kind of process to begin that program. I don't know where they're at with it. But we'll continue to do what we need to do on our side and pick up any stray animals and catch the dogs that are vicious and turn them in. We're just hoping that, the capacity issue will be resolved soon. But that's been a long-standing problem, and I think everybody has heard it. It's just that it still remains a problem, and we hope that there'll be a fix to it soon.
Has there been any update, Mayor, on the it was a bill, right? The one that would give you guys the citation issuing authority relative to the disturbances and noise complaints and all that?
No update on it. I did mention it at our budget hearing about it, that there was I forgot what the question was about, what we were doing, our process, and I did mention that those two bills kind of worked hand in hand, and they were necessary for us to help us complete our jobs out here in the village. And so I'm not sure. I know they're both in committee. That I don't believe they've been reported out, but I may be mistaken. I just know that it is not. It was not on the session schedule. So yeah, no, not yet at all.
Mayor, another thing I haven't asked you about in a minute is the status of you guys' funding with the ARP. Are we all good on that? Have you received everything? Where are we at?
So we haven't received everything, but we've received enough to start working. And I think that I have to say that I'm okay with that, because the amount of money that we have to work with is kind of within our realm. We only have 2 account techs. They're not, kind of account techs at our main office, and they have to handle all 19. And so that, on top of the education stabilization funds, that becomes, cumbersome. So I'm glad that we're getting it a little at a time. We just got approved we just received our $100,000 each last week. So that, that works. That's the cash part. So now every village should have about 146,000 from ARPA to work with. And that's the beginning. So that 46,000 covers the shortfall from last fiscal year. The 100,000 should cover a beautification plan that everyone submitted. And that's a good thing. We are working now on getting the vehicles, the 2 vehicles for each office, and working on the heavy equipment. We did receive, a few thousand, 100,000 for the COVID pay that ended last week. So that's all part of ARPA.
So you're going to be able to.
Status is on the payout, though. I do know that we received that amount. I don't know exactly what has been paid out.
What about staff, Mayor, across the Mayor's Council of Guam, with the lifting of the indoor mask mandate, and the mask use now remains optional? What are you seeing with the staff? Are they wearing it? They're not wearing it? People coming into the mayor's offices, or do you guys have an existing protocol in place?
Yeah, we do. I think most of us still keep our service windows open. I think that's probably the safest way to handle our constituents. I do know that there are some mayors that make exceptions for our manamko and those that need to get a seat or have a seat. We certainly will take them inside the office, but for the most part, everyone still has a service window, which works out perfectly. I mean, that's really all we need to do is to help assist them through the service window. So of course it's outdoors. There's no mask. In the mayor's office, I don't know. I mean, we're all vaccinated in my office, and so no, I have to honestly say we don't really wear our masks in the office. Everywhere else, our main office, I know they still wear their masks. So, but our main office, because they get everybody, right? Everybody on there. So, they still have their plexiglass up. So that's good. It is optional for them. At our meeting, most were not wearing their masks, I believe, in the conference room. So that's one thing. I went to mass on Sunday, and I think I was the only one without a mask.
Without a mask, yeah.
Well, not me, but I know there was a couple of us.
Probably. I know. I went to the 7 a.m. St. Francis, and when we were getting down, the kids were like, "Dad, where's our mask?" Because we've been so used to it. So we had to scramble and mask up. And thank goodness, because when I got into the church, especially for the Maramco mass, it was like 95% of everyone was wearing the mask.
Yeah. And it kind of felt like I was being looked at, and I thought, okay, well,
they're like, "Oh, Mayor Alig, he's a crazy anti-vaxxer." I had no idea, right? That's the kind of looks you feel like you're getting, right? Me too.
Yeah, that's what it was. My mask is 7:30, so it's not Manamco because I'm not old.
Right. It is what it is, Mayor.
Yeah, it was 7:30, and I'm thinking, okay. I walked in, and I just everybody had a mask on, so I think it really is. It's what is the word? everyone's so conditioned,
Right.
right, that it's part of their lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not, for some it's just part of what they do. Others, there's still real concern, right?
I think
Um,
for those those early masses, right, when you have, it's kind of a skewing to older demographic, right? There maybe because the directive says if you're immunocompromised, you should probably they encourage you to still wear the mask. So maybe that's why.
it could be. Yeah, that's true.
What did you make, Mayor, of the reopenings of all these night? I know Mayor Al has been well, he was early with the reopening of the Thursday night market, but now Chamorro Village night market's back up and running.
You know what? I haven't heard anything about how they went, but I do. I'm glad that there's activity. I am. I do know that a lot of people rely on that for a source of income.
Right.
So, in that case, I'm supportive of it. I'm just hoping that everyone continues to, you just continue to be safe. I mean, just. I'm hoping that because of the pandemic, because of the opening, more of our younger people will learn how to fangingi, right, as opposed to kiss, right? I mean, that might be better, right?
Well,
why not?
We're doing it at the last few Sundays at St. Francis. Polly is before he'd like ninja out the back door. But when things kind of started getting normal, now he comes down to the front of the church and does the meet and greet. It was funny though, because you're right. My kids are rusty on omening my. So my girl got it right. My boy Channing did, but my boy Chase, he went in to Polly and he did like a grown up man handshake, and I was like, "No, you omen him," and he was like looking like, "Dude, you're 7. You don't shake hands like that with the priest." So it's kind of funny. Yeah, but bring back Almond, right, Mayor?
Yeah, you need to bring back Polly Eric to talk more about how
right.
To fangingi, right?
Sounds like a
fangingi.
right. You're right, because and I know we touched on it in one of the podcasts that we did, but it's not always people who are older than you, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Mayor, in closing, anything? I feel like I forgot to ask you something. And the last couple times I had you on, I was like, anything else? You said no, and then there was some big news like the next day or whatever. So is anything happening this week before I let you go?
I don't purposely hide anything from you, Chris Barnett.
I know, you just have your big meeting after this interview, so.
No, I don't really. I always think about what big news I need to tell you.
Right.
But there's no big news. Not that I know. I mean, if something comes up, shoot.
Well, thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, too. I appreciate it.
Okay, we'll see you. Have a great week.
You too. Adios.
Watch tomorrow, right? It's going to be some big... The mayor's... I'm just playing, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Alig. He jumps on every Monday for our Mayor's Council of Guam update. And then, sometimes we get other mayors on. I know this week I want to try and catch up with Mayor Louise. And then we'll see which other villages we can get on the show this week. It's 7:54, Monday, May 9, 2022. We're doing Fit to Lead with the Office of the Governor.